Hello and welcome. My name is Michelle Young and you are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast. And this is show number 255, the Sunday, the 7th of April, 2019.
Where dreams begin.
Hey up, it is April. It's Michelle here. I have with me the gorgeous, the wonderful, the delectable, Darbylicious Jayne. Hello, my gorgeous one.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
Well, do you know what? I've missed you, baby.
Oh, missed you too, darling.
I know, my honey bunch. It's not been the same talking through Disney the last couple of weeks.
Oh, no, I do apologise. Unfortunately, some unfortunate little bits of health issues have crept along, so I've had to take a little bit of a back seat. So I'm kind of with you this week. I might have another few weeks where I'm in and out a little bit, but hopefully you'll get to chat to me a little bit more often in the foreseeable.
All crossed, fingers crossed on that one. And we need to give a little bit of a thank you to one or two people that have sent goodies to us.
Ooh.
Liz Reed has very kindly sent us some Marvel and all sorts of Disneyland Paris buttons.
Oh, yes, I saw those. Yeah,
Star Wars one.
I know, I did see that, yes.
I thought Jayne would be happy about that. Now, two wonderful people have put themselves out and been absolute, precious, wonderful, amazing people to enable Jayne and I both to have a little orange bird zipper.
I know, how sweet is that? It's gorgeous.
Oh, honey bunch, I can't thank Jennifer Walker and Karen Henderson enough for their goodie boxes they sent us. Ladies, you are too kind. Thank you so much. And I'm sure, Jayne, that little old orange bird put a massive old smile on your choppers.
Well, you can't not love an orange bird, can you?
Little orange bird. I don't want to sing, but I better not because Jayne might beat me over the head with an orange bird zipper.
No, I would never do that.
Oh, baby, I love you and miss you. Well, the good thing is it's only a few short days for us in the UK for getting 2 weeks off for Easter. Whoop,
Yay!
whoop. And I'm going to be spending 9 of them doing my further sergeant's qualification and first aid at work training.
Get you, missus.
I know.
I feel the need to call you mom every time you talk about this army malarkey.
I am not an officer, don't
I know.
mum me.
I know, but that's what I think I should be doing.
No. None of that rubbish. But that I'm also hoping in the jolly holidays I can pop down and see you personally and maybe sit and divulge a few of your chocolates that you've got stashed at home. Because I know you've got 1 or 2 bars lying around.
Yeah, they don't last very long in this house. That's the problem, Michelle.
Well, you see, I'm still trying to keep keto. I have done really well. I have been strict keto for 4.5 weeks now. I have been sort of uncleaned keto prior to that, but I'm trying to be really strict. I'm in proper ketosis. I am sticking to everything. Everything's made from scratch. It's all natural. It's all farm fed. I'm following the lovely Christine Fox's guidelines and I'm getting myself all geared up and I'm going to try to keep keto at Disney, but I'm sorry, there's going to have to be a Nowhere Jose with my name on it.
Yeah, well, I think it's that thing, isn't it? We have a little phrase where it's appropriate to have something. It's that element of allow yourself a little bit of something every now and then so it's rare and appropriate and then you'll appreciate it all the more. But in the main time, just stick to what you know is right for you. And keto, low carb, sticking to those things that are made from scratch, that aren't processed, that aren't laden full of goodness knows what. Best thing you can do.
Absolutely, 100%. And that is a little bit of a link ahead to one of the coming up features that we have on this week's podcast, because we have 3 Fabaroonie features. And the first one I'm going to be talking with the lovely Jayne. Come on, Janie. You've been giving me a few little hints. I'm going to probe deeper. You're thinking about a trip.
Yeah, well, we are musing, I think is probably the best word to use at the moment. We are contemplating potentially, possibly, maybe going to DLP over the summer at some point. Or if not the summer, it might be autumn, I don't know. But then I think we might also be in a position to do a bit of longer term planning. for a bit of a bigger trip.
Are we thinking 2020 towards the end of the year?
Possibly. Yeah. Well, it's all very much, up in the air a little bit at the moment, but we are kind of getting to the point where we are now talking, and Disney World is definitely on the horizon. We're going to be quite fortunate. As I've said numerous times before, we've been a family of 4, and all 4 of us have gone together, and we've paid for both kids to go with us, obviously. And for the last few years, they've obviously had to pay adult prices. Mm-hmm. Now, come June in this household, I have 2 children, I can't call them children really, that young adults that will no longer be in education. And they will be working and earning their own money, which means that when it comes to planning a vacation, I don't have to think about paying for 4 people anymore. I only have to think about paying for 2 of us. And if the other 2 want to come along, they are more than welcome to come with us, but they need to find the dosharuni first.
Well, the evil side of me is thinking, let's plan 3 weeks at the Wilderness Lodge. Oh, I'm sorry, kids, can't you afford it? Oh, what a shame you're house sitting.
Well, maybe they could come along. They can stay in a different resort. They don't have to stay with us, do they?
True. You can live it up in the Wilderness Lodge, and your kids can be in a tent halfway down the high drive.
Well, we shall see. But it's looking more and more promising. So if we can get a cheeky trip into DLP this year, I'll be quite happy. And then with bigger plans for the following year. I'm not sure what time of year it's going to be yet. It's a tricky one. As you know, Michelle, working around education, it does have its issues regarding when we can go, doesn't it? But we shall wait and see.
One thing that is burning a hole in my head right now, and this is what I ask to anyone when they're thinking about going to Walt Disney World. Do you save up for longer to go more luxurious, or do you just go value to get there?
Oh, it's a real tricky one, really, because it all depends on what your expectations are and how you like to vacate, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, we've done it both ends of the spectrum, and I think part of me says, sod it, as long as I can get there, I don't really care. But the other part of me says, when you've done something really nice before, it does kind of set your expectations a little bit on the high side. And therefore, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to live up to if you don't go and strive for that. And I think because it's such a while since we've been, then maybe that element of, let's just go for it and go for the best that we can afford to do.
Perfect advice. I'm of the camp at the moment. I just want to get there. And I'll go in whatever accommodation that fits the amount of money I'm able to save each month. This is when I'm going, and I work back from when I actually have to pay everything to how much I can put aside each month, and then that dictates where I'm staying. And I'll try and squeeze as much out of that as I can.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be an element of that, because as we've said before, coming from the UK, that the expense involved, can be rather hefty at times, at certain times of the year. And I think it's also looking for those deals as well and trying to tie in and book at the right time to take advantage. One thing that we've liked doing in the past is taking advantage of, and I doing air quotes, the free dining plans, just because it's one less thing to have to think about budgeting for whilst you're actually out there. If you've paid for it all up front, then you're not going to get hit with that amazing credit card bill on the return journey sort of thing, or at least you've got part of your vacations already paid for. You're not having to worry about finding X amount per day while you're out there on top of what you've already paid for to get out there.
With thinking about the dining plan and knowing how you eat, Wilderness Lodge would enable you to have the top level of the dining plan, which I know you don't really like that. You like the lower level one where you can have counter service meals rather than your table service meals. But perhaps maybe as the children are older now, it's maybe something you might want to look into, and maybe go for the plan where you have one table service and one quick service a day.
Yeah, it's not something we've done in the past, but it's, as you say, Michelle, it may be a little bit different going forward because of the fact that it could just be Simon and I. Or if the children are with us, they are significantly older. So the last time when we went to their eating habits are different to what they were. And also from an eating point of view, with the foods that we now like to eat, which are significantly different to the last time we were there, it may well be that some of the table dining options where, you can ask chefs to be more specific about what you're eating might actually be a better option for us from that point of view as well.
Well, absolutely. There's no way I can see you going and being satisfied just having a burgerless bun every day for 14 days.
No, I need a bit of variety in there. It's, I just wish that the whole fast food industry and, eating out in general would catch up. And as much as these places will give the vegetarian and the vegan options, how about thinking about other dietary requirements and dietary options that are out there for people, and do things like low carb keto, or the bunless, the skinny versions, whatever you want to call them, and just give a bit more variety, so you don't feel like the odd one out at the when you're placing your order and going, can I have that swapped out for that, please? Type of thing.
Keeping everything crossed that the financials work out, the kids get amazing jobs, and then they pay for you.
Oh, that would be even better. Never thought about that.
Well, you see, you've paid for them for several holidays, very pricey holidays.
Yeah, it's payback time, isn't it?
You have 2 very talented children.
I hope so, yeah.
Well, all crossed on that, my lovely.
Thank you.
Let's segue into now thinking about a little post that the lovely Liz Reid posted on our Disney Dreamgirls family page over there on Facebook.
Okay.
And it was a little meme saying, Disney addiction. Here are the symptoms.
Right.
So I thought we'd go through what it said on the meme. We can add our little 2 penneth worth. And then if there's anything further to that we want to add, that adds in as our further Disney addiction. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay, so the first one, seeing hidden Mickeys everywhere.
Yeah. That's a given.
Do you know what? It makes me laugh, does this, because I even have members of staff now that turn round and say, that's a hidden Mickey, because I've
Well, I have to say, I was out shopping just the other Sunday, just me and Simon, when we walked into the men's section of a clothing store. And as we came up the stairs and we turned right, and there was this very elaborate shirt, not something that Sam was particularly interested in, and the first words out of his mouth was, I thought that was a Mickey shirt there, because literally the pattern on it resembled a hidden Mickey. How it gets you.
It does, and you know me, whenever I have a manicure and the little the girl who looks after my nails, she always sneaks a hidden Mickey into the design or does something Disney related, so hidden Mickeys everywhere, and I do have quite a few pieces of Disney things that I will wear that are subtle. Like today, I've got a Disney Fruits hidden Mickey headband that I've been wearing. I also had my Kath Kitson shoes, skirt and lanyard in the Mickey Mouse print. So I suppose if we're saying hidden Mickeys everywhere, wearable Mickeys.
Absolutely. I've always got a pair of Mickey earrings in.
Oh, jewellery, completely. But both you and I have gone a little bit further than wearable. We have irremovable.
The old tattoos.
Your investments.
Yeah. Well, they are, aren't they? In fact, I've only just been talking. It's been a talking point of late, actually. My particularly my full sleeve has garnered a lot of attention. And there's Mickeys, there's Simbas, there's butterflies, there's Stitch. You name it, I've got it on me.
And you've got the carousel piece round your thigh.
I have, yes, and I have had just some photos taken. Molly has done some photos for me, so I'm hoping, because I couldn't get anything that was decent because it's rather high up my thigh, so I'm hoping that I've got some decent photos to share very soon of that.
Wonderful. And we both have a very similar piece on our foot.
We do,
your
yeah.
husband designed, which is beautiful flowers, very sort of cherry blossom-esque, and it's got hidden Mickeys in.
Yeah, in the little centres and all sorts,
I know. Well,
cute.
Ink buddies.
Ink buddies, yay!
And I've got this explosion of hidden Mickeys on one shoulder, and then I've got a Jared Maya Minnie Mouse on my shoulder back.
Yeah.
I adapted it from a coffee to a Dole Whip.
Well, that had to be done, didn't it?
Had to be. Oh, and I forgot, I've got Snow White on my thigh.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I forgot about her. Sorry, Snow.
How can you forget about Snow White?
I've no idea. She's just, what am I like? Okay, well, that's only one of them so far. Your bucket list item has a fast pass for Flight of Passage. I think you've got quite a few sort of bucket list must-do rides at Walt Disney World now, because there's been quite a few introduced since your last trip.
Wow, I'm going to say I've not done Avatar Land or whatever we're calling it. And obviously by the time we do get out there, the old Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be up and running, and I'm definitely going to need fast passes for some of that, I would think.
You've got Toy Story Land.
Toy Story Land, of course, yes. Disney Springs is all different.
Yeah. Have you done Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
No.
Oh my word, there's so much.
I know. I'm going to say that it's probably out. I've probably been in a situation it's easier to say what I don't want to do than what I do want to do.
Yeah, Jayne's not got a bucket list, she's got a barrel list.
Yeah. You know when you said 3 weeks before, I think you might be right.
Told you. Have you ever gone to your mobile phone device and looked at wait times for fun?
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. I sad confession, I've got an app on my phone that tells you where all 4 Disney cruise ships are at any one time.
Oh, that's cute. I like that, yeah. Just to make sure that they're in the right place, eh?
Next one, talking about toilet humour here. Have you got a favourite bathroom in each park, or a bathroom that you will avoid in a particular park?
There's certain bathrooms that I like. I don't think I've got one for every park, or anything one that I particularly avoid. I don't know. I always remember going to the toilets in the UK pavilion at Epcot, one of my very first visits. I have to admit this, and being blown away by the fact they were playing Greensleeves. Lasting memories that you have.
Do you know what my favourite toilet is in the Animal Kingdom?
Go on.
It's the toilets that are near to Everest, because in the event of a hurricane, those doors are super insulated thick, and they are sort of like bomb-proof doors. So when there is a zombie apocalypse, that's where I'll be.
That's where you'll be. That's where we're all going to head.
Yeah, we're going to stockpile food everywhere and whatever. Okay, the next one, wanting to talk about Disney to anyone who will listen.
Well, yeah, I'm very conscious, especially with having, a full sleeve tattoo, that people will often comment on it, and then I realise that I'm talking and I've not shut up. So I'm very aware that, between myself and Simon, what with the Disney and then the Star Wars, and the fact that Simon makes props and we're making new costumes and I do the podcast, it's kind of like there's that element of just wind either of us up and watch us go sort of thing, because we will talk at you non-stop. And you're probably the same, aren't you, Michelle?
Oh, I'm known as the Disney travel agent. Anyone who's planning a Disney trip comes to me to plan the trips for them. I literally had someone, while they were there, messaging me from the park. Right, where do I need to go now to stand for fireworks? Where do I need to do this? What do I do with that? Should I take any snacks? Should I do... Oh. Anyway, you can't let it go. I must admit, that is my thing. I sort of stick that in all the time, and we do a weekly singing lesson in school, and the number of times that a Disney song comes in is unbelievable. Yeah,
well, I obviously working in an early years environment, it's not very, it's very rare that a Disney song of some description doesn't end up coming on. And since the explosion of Frozen, and I'm surprised actually, because we've kind of gone past the children that were at preschool when it kind of exploded onto the scene, but still, I've still got 2 and 3 year olds who constantly ask for the Frozen soundtrack to go on. So, which is surprising, because obviously it's kind of it's not their film as such, because they weren't around when it very first came out, but obviously Frozen 2 come along is going to reignite all that, isn't it? But yeah, Disney songs pretty much a regular occurrence.
When my class are sat and working, and it's a time where they've not to talk, where they've to actually sit and focus and work, I put on Disney classical music to them.
Oh, well, I must admit, I've got the Fantasia CDs and a few of the Parks music CDs, and they do kind of live more at work than they do at home, I have to admit. And yeah, they're quite a nice one to put on, just to have on the background when we don't want something too loud, but we want something on maybe just to calm the room down a little bit.
Do you have any others that you think we could add to this, that you know that you've got a Disney addiction if you...
Crikey. Clothes.
Clothes, we mentioned clothes. Mugs.
Oh, I've got loads. Yeah, fair few mugs.
Collectibles.
Ornaments, posters. Or keeping hold of park guides and maps.
Yeah.
You know, all that type of old souvenir-y type stuff.
If you eat your snacks out of a Disney popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. Phone case cover.
Not at the moment, I haven't, because I can't get one for my Samsung that I like. But yes, otherwise it would be. I do have one on my works phone, actually, to be fair. Yeah.
When I point at a child to answer a question, I do the 2-fingered point.
Car antenna toppers.
Yes. Drooling over pictures of food on Instagram.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's just a given, isn't it?
I mean, it's following every social media, vaguely Disney-related possible thing that you can lay your hands on.
Oh, and if anyone you know is going on a Disney trip, stalking them like crazy on Facebook.
Yeah, and having that strange mixture of, I'm jealous, I don't want to talk to them, but I also want to find out what they're doing and help them.
Yeah. If they're going to make a massive disaster, like doing something silly like, oh, it's a good idea to go and walk up to Flight of Passage at 11 o'clock and queue for 5 hours.
No!
Yeah. Aww.
Board games. Sorry, just thought of board games.
Oh.
I've got, the Game of Life I've got, and I've got a Magic Kingdom board game. So I've not had out for ages. And then I did actually buy, which is very rude, the Cards Against Disney. You know, the Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, that's what we're doing when I come and see you in April.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realise that my children were that filthy-minded. Terrible. I am a terrible mother. But it's very, very funny. Very funny.
Oh, Lordy. Well, if any of our lovely listeners have got any that they want to suggest that we've forgotten, you know how to get in touch with us. Pop on Facebook, send us a message, post on the wall, send us a tweet, whatever. info@disneydreamgirls.com is our email. Let us know. We are dying to hear from you. So, next one. Well, as Jayne knows, I'm getting betrothed this summer.
Betrothed? How old are you, love?
Well, it was really funny because I was doing some discussion about oldie worldy vocabulary with the children at school, and we were talking about things like spinster and betrothed and all of this lot. I just found it really, really funny. But yeah, this summer sees me tying the knot, getting married, and I thought, exciting. Well, I'm going to share a little bit of research I did with people, because everyone who knows me and who I've found out that I'm getting married has said, you are getting a Disney wedding, aren't you? And I'm going to share with you the reason why I'm not having a Disney wedding.
Go on.
Okay, so Disney have 3 official packages that you can arrange and pay for via them.
Okay.
So let's start at the creme de la creme.
Right.
And can I just say that when you're going through all the prices, it says certain items will have a 24% service charge. And
how much?
24%.
Okay.
And a 6.5% sales tax will be added, applicable to all food and beverage.
Okay.
So some of these prices do need to have some massaging for all of that wonderful taxation that you have to pay for.
Okay.
So bear that in mind. So the first one is the Wishes package.
Okay.
Now the Wishes package is a minimum of 18 guests.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose from 42 venues.
42?
42 venues.
Right, okay.
Now, bear in mind, I'm only talking about Walt Disney World. Disneyland is a whole kettle of fish, and we'll talk about that a different time.
Right.
But because I'm planning my, another oldie world, nuptials at Florida, I'm going to talk about this. So the Wishes collection has 42, it's ridiculous, 42 venues, and you name it, you can get married there virtually.
Okay.
If the price is right.
Haha.
Yeah, you've got the wedding pavilion. You've got the Magic Kingdom at night when everybody's gone home. Or first thing in the morning on the Tomorrowland Terrace. There's umpteen places that you can think of. By the railroad station, East Plaza Garden. Then in Epcot, virtually every country pavilion you can get married in.
Right.
Yeah, Epcot. And I suppose Epcot works fairly well because most of Epcot doesn't open till 11, so you can have an early morning wedding.
Make the day of it, yeah.
Some of the resorts have places, such as Disney's Boardwalk. They have quite a few, and the Yacht Club and Grand Floridian's got the wedding pavilion. There's a few places at Hollywood Studios you can get married in. Absolutely. So many places. As I'm scrolling down the list, there's a couple of restaurants, Cali Grill, Citrico's, the Napa and Sonoma Room at Cali Grill. You know, it's just unreal. You can get married in front of the Tree of Life.
Oh.
You can get married outside the Tower of Terror. That's setting your marriage off for a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be a bit of a bad omen, I don't know.
Yeah. There's also beaches you can get married in. You can get married in the courtyards. As I say, umpteen places, 42 places to be precise, okay?
Right.
So there's all of that. Now, some of these places have an upcharge on top of them, okay?
Okay,
so
yeah.
depending on which one you go with.
Right.
Now, food and beverage, because that £12,000 does not include your food and beverage.
Right, okay.
So I will tell you what it does include. It includes the service staff in tuxedo.
Okay.
With optional white gloves.
Only optional, right,
Only
okay.
optional. There's a head table in various styles. There's linens, napkins, the table settings, tables and chairs, that's good of them, and tableware. Cake table and a table for your guest book.
Right.
So they've said, this is how you can work out how much it costs. You get your number of guests, you get the food and beverage minimum per person price, and you times those together.
Easy enough, yeah.
And then you add your ceremony fee. And your ceremony fee is anything upwards of about $4,000.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So, the food and beverage. Okay. A brunch reception, $140 per person.
Okay.
A lunch is $165.
Okay.
And dinner is $190, but bear in mind that's going to have 30% with the service charge and sales tax.
Charge, yeah. Can you not just get a glass of champagne and an olive?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, God.
Okay, so then thinking about, well, that doesn't include things such as the decor, the speciality lighting, a photo booth. Doesn't include flowers. All of these are enhancements you can pay for. For example, if you want your bridal bouquet, they come at a price of $250 plus.
Right.
You want it, Disney will create it. Anything from the boutonnieres to a special tossable bouquet to a special wedding canopy, the lot.
This is not cheap, Michelle.
No.
No.
I'm going to get you to guess the next one. The next one's entertainment. Okay, how much do you think you'd pay to have a flute player at your wedding?
Just a flute player.
Just a flute player.
Oh, crikey. On what you've said so far, about $2,000?
Well, a flute player is quite cheap then. It's $665.
Wow, you do surprise me.
What about a pianist? And it surprisingly comes with a piano. I just imagining the pianist there and he's got an imaginary piano. Can you imagine it? Playing chopsticks, imaginary. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I hope he's going to play something a bit better than chopsticks at your wedding, love. Well, let's think. He's got to have a bit more room for his piano, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Or
takes up
she.
real estate space, yeah.
So, I know, 1,200.
£2,345 upwards, depending on how good the pianist is and the time of year.
Why, do you have to pay more in certain times of year for people to play piano?
Well, seemingly, if you want a DJ in the month of December, the prices are doubled.
Well, I can presume they're rather busy in December, Christmas parties and all that, yeah.
Yeah, so that gives you a little flavour. A DJ is going to cost you just over 2,200.
I think I need to find myself a new job.
But don't worry, the DJ does bring his own lighting package.
Oh, well, that's generous of him.
Yeah, he's been to Primark to buy some little fairy lights.
I thought for one moment, you were going to say the DJ just bring his own music with him. I thought, oh no, you better do.
So now thinking about how you're going to arrive at your nuptials. I love that word. I'm going to use that word all the time now. Nuptials. Cinderella's glass coach for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Including miniature white ponies and costumed footmen. This is for the real Cinderella experience.
Yeah. Tens of thousands.
3.5 grand.
Oh, actually, crikey. That's me thinking it's going to be stupid money. Well, just daft money instead.
What about a charter bus or a limousine, for example?
Oh, 1,000.
The charter bus is a minimum of 5 hours and works out about $700.
Okay.
That's not too bad. For me, I'm sorry, I'd be getting me Shanksy's pony. For those who aren't familiar with slang, it's mean walking. I'd be walking, I tell you. And I'd be getting me steps in as well. I won't be getting any steps in on Cinderella's castle coach, will I? And knowing my luck, that horsey would do a number 2 as it was trotting into the park. Hey, that means I could sell the manure back to Disney to feed the roses, though.
I think they probably have somebody collecting it, love.
Probably so. You probably have to sign a disclosure saying anything that leaves the horse's bottom belongs to Disney. Anyway, I'm getting a bit crude now. What about pictures, Jayne?
The old photographs?
Yeah.
Does it not come on your memory maker?
No, unfortunately, Memory Maker does not come part of this.
Oh, well, come on. Photos is going to be a silly amount of money, isn't it? What they're going to do, charge you a flat fee and then X amount per print or something?
Well, some of the packages do have a photographer in with it. But if you want to, say, go to the Magic Kingdom and have a portrait session or Hollywood Studios or whatever, these start upwards of $1,000 upwards.
Yeah.
But you can pay excess of £5,500 for a photo package.
Better be good photos.
Yeah.
I'll just bring Molly with me, see. She's my own personal photographer. She'll be fine. She'll do it for me.
Now, I have got a job for Ethan.
Oh.
We're sending him over and he's going to get a job as a themed entertainer. And they have roles as a major domo in full regalia, an English butler, a herald trumpeter, or a trumpet duo.
So what are you thinking for Ethan then?
I'm thinking he's going to be an English butler because they don't say much and it'd be ideal for him.
He's very tall as well, so that would it would be imposing, wouldn't it? Yeah.
He is very tall and he would look the spit of Prince Harry. So all the Americans love him.
That's very true. Yeah.
And at $1,600 a pop, he would make a mint and he'd be paying for you to stay at Wilderness Lodge then.
I'm liking this plan.
I thought you would.
Yeah.
But, you can have a little trumpeter.
So Ethan can do the entertainment, Molly can be the photographer, and then me and Sam are sorted. We've got everything paid for.
Yeah, you could get a kazoo. You could get a kazoo. Or a band. Or harmonica.
Oh, no, you don't want to hear me on a harmonica, love.
Oh, is it bad?
Oh, I'm not musically inclined.
Oh, dear. Okay, let me move on and sort of say the last one, the creme de la creme, a character.
Oh, okay.
One character, 30-minute set, subject to availability. How much ka-ching?
Oh, now, are they... there's no, pricing structure, so depending on the level of character then.
Oh, gosh, it's going to go up. The more exclusive the character, the more ka-ching you're going to pay. You've got to be talking a few $1,000s, surely. Yeah. One character is $1,325, but I imagine that's going to be like, someone who's not Mickey. That's going to be, one of the lower echelons, Stitch.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to get hate mail now from Stitch fans, aren't I?
You are.
Yeah.
But no, but it could be like Geppetto or somebody like that, maybe. Well, he's quite rare, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of,
But I suppose it depends on how you theme your wedding. I was listening to a wedding podcast the other day, and the lady involved really wanted Lumiere at her wedding.
Okay.
But Disney were being a little bit funny with her because she said, well, most of your room decor is based on Cinderella. It's not based on Lumiere. It's not based on that franchise, so it doesn't work.
Well, yeah, because they're going to have their image to upkeep, aren't they? So they're going to want it to look the part, so to speak. So, yeah, you can't... I wouldn't want to mix genres, so to speak.
Well, it's like that Ghostbusters adage, isn't it? Don't cross the streams.
Yeah, no. If I was going Cinderella, I'd go... Mind you, see, I can't talk, though, can I? Just saying that. Because my carousel tattoo is part of Cinderella, but with Mary Poppins horses. So I should just stop talking now, because I'm just going completely against what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Tut, tut, tut. Naughty, naughty Jayne. So that's your ka-ching on the top echelon. You're looking at somewhere quite easily 100,000 if you're going to do the whole bling out.
Oh, my God, it's ridiculous.
I'm not paying that.
Are you not, Michelle?
No. There is a middling one.
Really?
And this is called the Escape Package, but it can be Escape Premier or Escape Plus. Okay. This comes in where it doesn't have any actual meals.
Right.
So you get your bridal bouquet and a boutonniere. You get a violinist. You get a 2-tier, fairly standard but personalised flavouring of wedding cake. And you get a champagne toast. You get a 4-hour limousine charter to move around bride and groom. You get a Disney photographer. And you get some printed out pictures. You get a wedding coordinator. And you get a USB drive of all your pickies.
Right, okay, that doesn't sound too bad.
So that's it, not including any sort of meal or, cocktail hour or anything like that. And your choices are, you've got 5 locations for this one.
Okay. Disney
Wedding Pavilion, you've got Epcot, a couple of other places. What sort of price would that be? And you can only have, I think it's 18 guests for this one.
Oh, I don't know, 20,000.
Wow. All right, this one's going to be a bit of a surprise to you then. This is between $7,000 and $8,000 upwards.
Oh, okay. So I'm just assuming they're going to fleece you for all they can get out of you.
Well, obviously, they're going to ask you for enhancements. So if you want a more exuberant cake, if you want perhaps canapes to be served with the champagne and the cake, if you want to have other flowers, if you want any decorative elements added. So it's not going to be $7,000, is it?
I wouldn't have thought so by the time you finish.
No, of course not. It's Disney.
But
it will be magical and it will be amazing.
I would like to think so.
It's going to be a day that you will never forget, and Disney will do every little detail as you want. Now, if you did not want to splurge that much,
right,
and if you're happy not to get married in a theme park and to settle for a beach in one of the other locations, either at the Grand Floridian or at the Polynesian, maybe the Memories package is for you, where you and 4 guests are welcomed to have a ceremony.
Right, okay.
It's an experience that lasts an hour. After the ceremony, there will be a photographer to take some pictures.
Right.
At your ceremony location. You'll get a bridal bouquet.
Right.
A violinist. You will get limousine charter for 3 hours. You'll get a Disney photographer for an hour, and he will print out 1 picture and give you a disc of your pictures, and you'll get a wedding coordinator.
Right.
So, nothing to eat, nothing to drink, it's just a Disney wedding or vow renewal. What do you think?
$2,000.
It's upwards of 3.5.
Oh, okay.
But the maximum here is 4 guests.
Yeah, we should be fair. For us coming from the UK, we might not have that many people want to come out with us anyway.
True. I think that's lovely because then you can take your wedding party and you can get a table for the 6 of you at any Disney restaurant and you don't have to pay $199 per head for a meal.
No, true.
You know, you take yourself off to Cali Grill, £80 a head, maybe a couple of bottles of wine. You could quite easily do a really realistic wedding there.
Well, yeah. I'd say the nice thing with that is you can say you've got married at Disney or renewed your vows at Disney or whatever you want, and then without it costing stupid amount of money.
But the thing is, you're not in the theme park, you're in the resort.
Yeah.
But those are your options, Jayne. We did look at them, I will be honest. I was hoping the memories one would be a little bit more. But to be honest, I don't have 4 guests. You know, I don't like violinists because they just remind me of the shower scene from Psycho.
Yeah.
Or Jaws. Oh, that's more like a double bass, isn't it? I don't want to be trolleyed around in a limousine because I think it's really pretentious. And I've got an iPhone for a selfie. And I don't want a floral bouquet because Florida heat, it'll be dead in 10 minutes.
Wow, yeah. Be a bit wilty.
And should I go around and kill flowers?
So you're doing it on the cheap then, Michelle?
Oh, God, yeah. I'm not... well, plus I don't want to get married on a beach because him indoors doesn't like beaches. It's a right miserable. That's why we can't do the Castaway Cay Caribbean cruise because he says I don't like beaches. So instead he's taking me to Alaska where we're going to freeze our whatsits.
Yeah, but you can get payback at some point, Michelle.
Oh, I'm going to get payback. I'm going to make him wear what I want him to wear for wedding. So, yeah, we are planning a very bespoke, very small, very not in a Disney theme park wedding where we will be getting married in Florida. I'm not going to share the details as yet, but at some point there will be some very special Disney food being taken part of in my tummy as my wedding meal.
And
I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. But yes, there's going to be no fuss. There's going to be no big frock. Don't want a frock. Don't want a tiara. Don't want any of that palaver. I just want me, him, and then let's go and have some nice Disney food.
Yay. Well, you know what? I mean, I had the very good fortune of renewing our vows in Vegas with an Elvis impersonator at the Little White Chapel. And then we went for indoor glow-in-the-dark miniature golf and ice cream. And I loved it. So, you know, cheap and cheerful. Not wrong with that.
Absolutely. And I will be releasing a lot more details about this, but not quite yet. I do know the lovely Patreon supporters of ours have been inundated with lots of wonderful extra audio. They've had character breakfasts. They've had a musical extravaganza. They have had, oh gosh, what else have they had? They had a sneaky peek and a doubly extended listen to the Disney Keto program episode that we had the other week with Christine Fox. They're getting at the moment a planning journey of me and the other half as we're planning our Walt Disney World trip for this coming summer, and we will be talking about our wedding, and it's going to be, well, you'll see the silly battles we are having. If you thought that having a battle over a coffee maker in the room was bad, ooh. So if you want to hear all of that, it's over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. Have a little look, see if you're able to pop a few dollars away each month, and in return we do give quite generous rewards for our wonderful supporters on there. And guys, if you are supporting us, we are genuinely thanking you from the bottom of our hearts for continuing to do so.
Absolutely.
We have mentioned about the t-shirts, etc. You know, aforementioned little blip where Jayne's not been able to put her time fully into the show. We are still planning to do that. We are planning to do some goodie bags from the UK and things like that to say thank you to our supporters. So we do love you guys and thank you so much.
Yeah, just give me a few weeks to get over what I'm going through, and then I'll get Simon on the case and we'll sort something out for you guys.
Awesome. Right. We are also talking with our Disney Dream Girls podcast family. If you are not on that yet, why not?
Yeah, I am.
Search for it, look for it, ask for an invite. We are doing all sorts of things. At the moment, I am looking at our American listeners to find me some Nutella flavoured M&Ms. And in return, I'm sending off their way any English candy that I can grab. If they like Curly Whirlies, Jammy Dodgers. If they like Cadbury's Cream Eggs, whatever. And we're going to do a bit of a chalky exchanging going on. Anyway, my lovelies, we just want to say a big thank you for everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Jayne, I've missed you. It's been amazing having you back to bounce our bonkers ideas off each other's. So if you want to catch more of us, go back, listen to our archives. They're all there on iTunes or whatever listening device you listen to us via. While you're there, why not leave us a review? We really do like those reviews. Great to read them. Even better if there's lots of dazzling stars. But at the end of the day, we want to know what you think of the show. So you can email us, info@disneydreamgirls.com. Get in touch with us. We'd love to know, if you've got a question for us, a problem, a burning issue about Disney you want us to solve. Or shall we battle it out for you? Whether the Dole Whip is better than the citrus swirl. You just have to ask us. Are you ready to stick those dukes up, Jayne?
Go on then.
You'll find us on Instagram and Twitter @DisDreamGirls. Don't forget to look in on our lovely other friends that we're connected to. Diz Down Under, Fairy Godmother over there on that old YouTube. Please have a look, see if this keto diet book is any good for you. Christine Fox, Keeping Keto at Disney. And also you'll hear me on The Avengers. But until our next show, it's a big huggy goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.